Chapter 10. The Final Stand. The darkness loomed before Serafina, a swirling mass of shadows and twisted shapes that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. The creature, now fully formed, towered over them. Its eyes glowed with an eerie, unnatural light, and its monstrous form stretched into the abyss of the dreamscape. "You have no power here, Serafina," the voice rumbled, shaking the very ground beneath her feet. It was the embodiment of her deepest fears, a reflection of the chaos she had unknowingly unleashed. Serafina stood firm, Kale beside her. This was the moment she had been dreading, yet she could feel the power within her, stronger than ever. The dreamscape was hers to command, and she had to prove it. "You're wrong," she said, her voice steady despite the fear that still clung to her heart. "I do have the power, and it's time to end this." With those words, Serafina reached out, her hands glowing with the energy of the dreamscape. The air around them thickened, crackling with raw power as the shadows tried to resist. But this time, Serafina wasn't just reacting, she was in control. The creature roared, its form shifting violently, but it couldn't escape the pull of Serafina's power. Slowly, the darkness began to unravel, its shape twisting as it tried to fight back. "Why are you doing this?" Serafina asked, her voice unwavering. "What do you want from me?" The creature's eyes flickered with malice. "You created me, you gave me life, and now I will consume you." Serafina felt the weight of its words. The creature was born from her fear, from the chaos of the dreamscape, and it was using that fear to weaken her. But she wasn't afraid anymore. "I won't let you," she declared. Kale stepped forward, his presence grounding her. "Together," he said softly, his eyes meeting hers. "You're not alone in this." With a renewed surge of energy, Serafina focused all her will into the dreamscape. The shadows writhed, shrinking, twisting into nothingness. Slowly, the creature began to fade, its form disintegrating like sand in the wind. The roar of the darkness grew fainter until it was nothing more than an echo in the void. The dreamscape, once a place of nightmares and fear, began to settle. The ground beneath their feet solidified, and the once terrifying shadows dissolved into the light. Serafina stood panting, her heart still racing, but the weight of the world had lifted. The battle was over. "Is it done?" she asked, her voice a quiet whisper. Kale nodded, his expression softening. "It's done. You did it." Serafina looked around at the peaceful landscape that had once been filled with chaos and fear. She had overcome the darkness, not by fighting it, but by embracing her power and facing her fears head-on. And for the first time in a long time, she felt a sense of peace. But as the dreamscape settled, she realized that this was only the beginning. There was still much to learn, many challenges ahead. But now, she knew she wasn't alone. With Kale by her side, and her powers under control, she could face whatever came next. "Thank you," she said, turning to Kale. He smiled, his eyes soft. "You did all the hard work. I'm just glad I was here with you." Serafina felt a warmth spread through her, not just from Kale's words, but from the connection they shared. This was more than just a battle between darkness and light. It was about understanding who she was and what she was capable of. And as they stood together, in the aftermath of the dreamscape's collapse, Serafina realized that the real challenge had just begun. There would always be more to face, more to learn, and more to overcome. But whatever came next, she was ready. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story. Subscribe, like, and comment for more.